shipper doesn't know you and they don't trust you, well, give away freebies like I do at pandabusters.com, because advertising is like everything else. Because the problem with wholesale versus retail, if you're like what's called a drop shipper or affiliate program, what they call CPA or affiliate, where you get referrals, the problem is you're put out of business by big money every time. Like in the case of buying wholesale instead of retail, you cannot compete with Walmart. You cannot compete with Target. All these people that buy things really cheap because they can buy in bulk. Now, advertising is the same way. Established businesses, like just the people I mentioned, for example, Walmart or Home Depot or Bank of America, they spend a lot of money on commercials that where they pay per impression, so much per 1,000 impressions, usually $9. Springer's a lot cheaper at $2, but I'm getting no traffic to my website. I'm going to have to check the web analytics tomorrow. But it's producing no traffic, maybe less than 1%, like 20 people per website. It's not doing anything. I didn't get any email. Web analytics was not affected. So I have to S-can it. The idea is you have these things called black hat robots where ultimately the goal is to do well on the internet. You have to rank high on Google. To do that, you need a lot of people who have hyperlinks or anchor text, URLs, if you will, pointing at you and they're keyword relevant. Someone's pointing at them and they're keyword relevant, and so on down a pyramid. So Google's a pyramid also, but not multi-level marketing until you integrate them with Post Affiliate Pro, which is what I do at pandabusters.com. So what happens is it's permission-based. Black hat in general involves hijacking other people's website, very nefarious, produces inferior content. So the robot votes for itself instead of a human voting for another human's web page with a hyperlink anchor text. There's a way to use the software to make it white hat instead where it's permission-based, where you allow, because of 7 advantages of outbound links, have robots for no money build a really big website for like 500 pages every 3 days, and you get all this traffic like I got back in 2004, thousands of visitors, all because I designed a robot that just creates its own pages with a spin to keep the plagiarism penalty down. Now, what happens is, even if you're not the seller at the top of a 100-tier pyramid, you can be fairly high, and if someone buys from anyone below you, then everyone above gets commission. And oh, by the way, the robot seller is backlinking under you, not just on top of you, which black hat people don't like to do. They just want to be on top of other people's pyramids, and they're unreasonable. That led to all the craziness of the internet, where you have to use these recaptcha filters to supposedly prove you're not a robot when there's a way to get around it. Yep, just like the nuclear arms race, it's a stalemate unless you take my advice. But if you make this software permission-based, because the 7 advantages of outbound links, combined with the fact that, the seller at the top, you'll pay a little bit of money for something where you control what you do as far as keywords and making the pages are relevant to each other, but also low plagiarism penalty. It's like a linear relationship between the two. Try to get as good as you can with the best spinner combined with Scrapebox, and GSA makes some really good software too with their new website form submitter, because that's what I'm going to do right now to promote what I do. I've been doing a lot of Web Harvey to build better web pages, but it's really slow. Web Harvey is really slow. I'm going to use Web Submitter to basically submit some forms to people targeted who will like Pandabusters and InvestorCommune.com. So you go to pandabusters.com. There's an interesting article there about how to make your robots reproduce, how it's mutual symbiosis like clownfish and sea anemones. It's as simple as the robot simply, you put up, like let's say you're a reseller who joins for free, an affiliate, if you will, which is the bottom 99 tiers, and you make your URL for your blog post available, your keywords, the black list versus the white list, the minimum amount you will demand for commissions, or if it's a geographic business like a plumber, what radius you're willing to serve. If you're basically representing a plumber who's at the top, number 100, if you will, of the pyramid, that pays as little as $9.95 a month for that service, but they could get commission. I get commission in addition to what I sell for, just a service where you all advertise what you want to advertise, with robots, interacting with robots, where we sell on each other's websites with minimum link swapping, because it's a bad idea where one page links to me and that other page links to you. You get penalized for that, but 99% of the time that won't happen. So I get paid commission and also membership fees, but the first 10 people that come there will be free. I've got some free time slots at InvestorCommune.com as well. Okay, so again, the websites are InvestorCommune.com, Pandabusters.com, and what I'll do is I'm going to put these, because I know almost all of you must have found this podcast, if you're listening at all, on the Spreaker.com network, but eventually, as you will have to create a fixation with the other websites like anarchyforever.com and go back and forth. These websites will link to each other through the podcast, which will always be on the upper right-hand side, and they connect that way. So like in case of Alex Jones, he has Infowars.com, prisonplant.com, and they both point to his 3-hour-a-day podcast. And I basically model my business after what he does. He's quite impressive. He and I, Alex Jones and I, did a couple of interviews back in 2005. Funny story about the Minutemen, where the people that attacked us called, they sent letters threatening to kill me, and the cops said, "You provoked the threats." True story. Then a little bit later, where we were attacked by the same people on the Mexican border in Campo, 2005, where this one guy threw his own 5-year-old daughter in front of a group of armed men, daring to shoot her, and he went to jail for lewd lascivious conduct in front of his own 5-year-old daughter. So these people self-destructed quite nicely, and it's going to get a lot hotter. People are assholes. Most people just suck. But I think a small percentage of you will still be here after Armageddon. My self-fulfilled prophecy, good enough. Maybe take my medication. I wish you would. It just kills my libido. So I become madder than Mad Emperor Nero. And supposedly, according to the Christians, the consummate bad boy comes back as the resurrection of Mad Emperor Nero. So again, the medication doesn't work. Works for me, but not for you, because you're a fool. You're a boofus buffoon. If you think medication works, I think exactly like Tom Cruise of Church of Scientology. It turned me into the monster I am, and the many monsters and monsterettes you are. Kills the male libido until you become violent. Enhances the female libido until they become nymphomaniacs. And that's why, men and women are going to have to sleep with something else, like Pyro the dog. Okay, so that wraps up the show for now. If I get people calling in, I will fix Skype. I'm probably going to have to get a new Skype address, because for some reason, maybe people, if they had it, it's not working. I've had that problem before with Skype. So I'll get a new Skype address by tomorrow, make a better commitment. You can hear the rerun, of course, tomorrow. But if I don't show up 1 o'clock sharp, I'll make a commitment to try to do a 3-hour show. But that's if and only if I get people calling in and chatting in. I'd love to hear from you. So until then, this is Jimbo Zoe of Ask Jim Anything, the Jimbo Zoe Ho 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 Show. Signing off until tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific time, witching as a witch or a warlock, whatever the hell I am, wishing each and every one of you, or without power, anarchy with peace, GB the world, do not pay your taxes, man. Here we go.
Of a summer night in the land of the dollar bill, when the town of Chicago died, and they talk about it still, when a man named Al Capone tried to make that town his own, and he called his gang to war with the forces of the law. I heard my mama cry, I heard her pray the night Chicago died. Brother, what a night it really was. Brother, what a fight it really was. Glory be. I heard my mama cry. I heard her pray the night Chicago died. Brother, what a night the people saw. Brother, what a fight the people saw. Yes, indeed. And the sound of the battle rang through the streets of the old east side, till the last of the hoodlum gang had surrendered up or died. There was shouting in the street and the sound of running feet, and as someone said, about 100 cops are dead. I heard my mama cry, I heard her pray the night Chicago died. Brother, what a night it really was. Brother, what a fight it really was. Glory be. I heard my mama cry. I heard her pray the night Chicago died. Brother, what a night the people saw. Brother, what a fight the people saw. Yes, indeed. Then there was no sound at all. clock upon the wall. Then the door burst open wide, and my daddy stepped inside, and he kissed my mama's face, and he brushed her tears away. The night Chicago died. The night Chicago died. Brother, what a night the people saw. Brother, what a fight the people saw. Yes, indeed. The night Chicago